Say you reject a freedom. Walk us through that line of thinking, please.
Thank you very much. Good morning to the viewers. Good morning, Hugo. We are today going to mourn the freedom that has been lost. We respect the great leaders who have fought against the oppression of apartheid. We will respect their legacy. However, we are saying that today's leaders have failed to deliver the freedom that was promised to us. Today, people in the informal settlements are living under inhuman conditions. There is no water, there is no refuse collection. The conditions, we are living like pigs in the mud in the informal settlement. Therefore, we can never say we are free for as long as we are living under these conditions. We are not important in this government. The only time people in the informal settlement are important to the government and the politicians is when there is elections. Now that we are having these elections in October, you will see them coming in and out of the informal settlements. But providing services for the people in the informal settlement has never taken place. We are still living under inhuman conditions. We continue to die from fires that are caused as a result of electricity not being put in place. There is no infrastructure in the informal settlement. Right now, a family has lost their member in a fire in Cato Crest as a result of no services that have been provided there. We continue to die in the informal settlement because we are ignored by this government. We reject that we are free. We can't lie anymore and go into stadiums and wear T-shirts of political organizations, political regalia, when we know that we are still struggling and we are still suffering in the informal settlements.
Well, you talk about the elections and the fact that you've voted councillors and others into office. Have you had any conversations with your respective councillors or respective representatives?
Yes, on a number of occasions. We have written to councillors. We have tried to engage with councillors. Some of the councillors have dispelled in wanting to even engage with ordinary people on the ground. So when you are living in an informal settlement, you are taken as someone who cannot think, who cannot be somebody who should be. They think on our behalf. They don't engage with the people on the ground to find out what the needs of the people on the ground. Even our councillors leave the places when they are voted into power. As I speak to you right now, the councillor in Cato Crest has never been in the site of where the fire took place. So we are only important. We've become banks for votes for politicians, and we reject that we are free when we are still living under these conditions.
THAPELO, we went around the city of Joburg to establish what some of the citizens think about Freedom Day. We're going to take a listen to that, watch some of those clips, and then come back to this conversation.
I just think Freedom Day is another day that white people can celebrate and have a braai, you know, and it's not really something for us to actually be proud of. I'm not proud of the past that I came from. I see white supremacy as a huge thing. I agree that it is there. I'm not going to deny it, but I don't want any part of that. And Freedom Day should be for the people that were set free.
Freedom Day to me means that me as a young person, I can do whatever I want to do. I can go wherever I want to go. And Freedom Day, it celebrates that our parents and our grandparents have fought so much to give us the life that we have today. So that's what Freedom Day means to me as a young person.
I don't feel like our country's free right now. I don't feel like any countries are free, really, not just ours. The people who are in control will not let go of their control. Like, you can't get rid of the corruption. Those in charge are all corrupt, so how do you vote out a corrupt system when every system is corrupt? Voting is a waste of our time. I think it's just like a cute thing for people to feel like they made a decision, although the decisions are already made for us.
After all these other political parties, the only political system, so I'm only for the person who's ready for the people, for the poor. Exactly.
We all need someone who can be able to run the country. We need integrity in our country. We need someone who will be able to stand up and be like your O.R. Tambo, your Chris Hani and Mandela, and people that would have the fighting spirit to fight for the youth.
I would like to vote. I feel like this country definitely needs change. You know, we've seen so many wrong people being put in positions that they shouldn't be, and now we're dealing with the effects of it in this country, and you know, I would like to personally add my vote for the change of this country.
Thapelo, it would seem that your line of thinking has been vindicated. Clearly, none or the majority of those people that we spoke to in many ways agree with you.
Yes, one of the major point that everyone is raising is the corruption. Corruption in this country has robbed of the poorest of the poor of services. We do not have today refuse collection in the informal settlement around Durban. We don't have water. We don't have access. People die on their way to relieve themselves as a result of corrupt politicians, that they take what is meant for the poorest of the poor. How can you say such a government cares about the poorest of the poor when people steal in the midst of a pandemic? When we are dying in the informal settlement as a result of other diseases that have been there, diarrhea, tuberculosis, as a result of the conditions that we live under. And yet when there's a pandemic that comes in place, people see an opportunity to continue to